2025 is looking like a really hard year for first-time homebuyers. The stats don't lie. Only 24% of buyers are first-timers. This is a 2024 stat that's coming out now. 'Tis the lowest it's been since 1981. Is the American dream dead? I want to talk about why this is happening, how you can beat these odds if you're watching from another country. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, it's still relevant because the buying conditions are only going to get worse before they get better. So if you're in the market now, stay tuned. I'll give you some secrets so you don't overpay. If you're waiting, I'll tell you how to position yourself so you come out ahead of everyone else when the time comes. Sound good? Let's dive in. What does the 2025 market look like? Mortgage rates are hovering around 6.7%. They will likely rise even further in the beginning of the year because home prices are not falling. Inventory remains tight due to the lock-in effect. That's my term, not anyone else's, but I've been calling it that for 2 years now. So let's pretend I invented it, okay? But you know what I'm talking about, because homeowners with 2-3% loans are not moving. And that's the vast majority of people who bought a home in the last 3 years because interest rates were amazing. Today, buyers would have to take a significantly larger loan to buy the same home at today's higher prices, and they have to pay at least 6.7% interest. That's more than double the payment compared to those who locked in historically low rates. No wonder most homeowners are reluctant to give up their low payments unless they have to. And that's why there aren't enough houses for sale. Guys, it's pretty simple. Look at this graph here. Redfin says homeowners with a mortgage rate below 4% make up about 80% of all mortgaged properties, which is keeping supply tight. Here's another one. This is a news clip from Bloomberg. 3/5 U.S. homeowners have mortgages under 4%. That's 65%. I think the number's even higher than that. I think it's close to 80%. But they also say that 40% of U.S. homes are owned outright. That's true, but it doesn't matter because they don't have a mortgage. They're not going to be impacted by interest rates. So if you see someone trying to sell their house, chances are they have to. It's not just because they want a new kitchen, or they got a promotion, or they need more space. Usually it's something on the back end. Like I just had an agent contact me. He said, "Listen, I have a seller who just got laid off, and they have to move because they can't afford the mortgage anymore." Or they have some kind of financial hardship. It could be foreclosure. It could be they inherited a property and they don't want it. Whatever the reason, people are only selling their homes if they have to. So it's very unlikely that we'll see any meaningful change in inventory anytime soon. Let's talk about the impact this has on first-time homebuyers. The average age of a first-time homebuyer is 38 years old. That's up from 34 5 years ago. Why? Because they're having to wait longer to save up enough money for a down payment. First-time buyers typically put down 9% on their home, according to the latest data. 5 years ago, it was closer to 6%. That's almost a 50% increase in the down payment required. Just to buy a house today, many first-time homebuyers are priced out of the market altogether and have no other choice but to keep renting. There's also fewer entry-level homes available. Developers built mostly luxury homes over the past few decades. There's not enough starter homes. So if you're young and you don't have a lot of money, it's really hard to buy a house right now. That's why a lot of first-time buyers are moving to the suburbs or doing things that they would have done otherwise. How are people adapting to these crazy market conditions? 56% of buyers are moving to the suburbs, mainly because that's where the houses are. You know, if you live in the city, you'll have to go to the suburbs to find a house. This is boosting demand in suburbia. Actually, it's bringing life back into suburbia. For a long time, millennials were fleeing to the cities. Now they're heading back to the suburbs because that's where the houses are. In fact, suburb living is becoming more popular with buyers than city living. According to the latest surveys, 52% of homebuyers want to live in the suburbs. 29% want to live in a rural area and only 15% want to live in the city. That's actually flipped from 2019-2020, when the numbers were close to the exact opposite. Another way people are adapting to the market is by buying fixer-uppers. There are not enough brand-new move-in-ready homes. So if you want to buy a house, you're going to have to compromise in some way, shape, or form. So if you have handyman skills or you know someone who does, you might want to consider a fixer-upper. Tiny homes are also popping up. You can build a tiny home on wheels or modular tiny home in the backyard. As an investment property, you can rent it out. You can live there yourself. You can use it as a guest house. It depends on your local zoning laws. I'm not sure how legal they are in certain areas, but you can definitely do it. The tiny home industry is growing because people need smaller, more affordable places to live. The silver lining is that we should see a major shift in the second half of 2025. We could see rates drop to 5% by the end of the year. That's what the experts say. Then eventually they'll go lower. But between now and then, we could see a flood of new listings hit the market. Everyone who's been sitting on the sidelines waiting for rates to drop will finally be able to sell their house. When that happens, you're going to be able to pick up a bargain. But if you wait too long, you might get priced out again because the buyers who have been waiting will jump back in as well. So it's a balancing act. So here's the question: how do you win? What can you do now to put yourself ahead of the pack? What you can do today is build credit. Better credit means better loan terms and lower interest. That's going to help you qualify for a larger loan or buy the same size home for less money. Also, save, save, save. I know you're tired of hearing this, but saving a large down payment will help you avoid private mortgage insurance. You'll also qualify for a larger loan and get a lower interest rate. Don't be afraid to look in cheaper regions. If you're stuck in your hometown and feel like you have to stay there, you're missing the big picture. I'm not saying you have to move across the country, but there are plenty of great cities that are more affordable than others. For example, if you want to live in Florida, don't just focus on Miami. Look at the entire state. If you don't mind living in a small town, you could probably get a house for 30% less money. Remember, the goal is to buy a home you can afford. The American dream is dead, okay? I hate to break it to you, but if you have unrealistic expectations, you're going to be disappointed. Focus on buying a home that meets your needs, not your wants. Your home is not your dream house. It's just a place to live. Maybe someday it'll turn into your dream house, but not now. What do you think? Will you be able to buy a house in 2025? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more weekly real estate survival tips. This is your host. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Be smart, be ready, win the game. This is your guide to owning smarter.